good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe you're brave, boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. Got me feeling some type of way. You make me wanna stay in all day. You're the reason I can't get out my head. I just can't stop thinking about you. 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 I just can't stop thinking about you.
Master Glam. See you there. I have someone else who's on that I know, and they're incognito. But Master Glam, thank you for coming on in. I have your stuff ready. I finished it already. I'll put it up tonight. I'll be working on some things tonight to get it up. And I'm just glad you're here. Now, as you well know, the situation for the whole week where this is a different YouTube channel, LanceScurvLive. So there won't be too many people possibly on the show. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to drop this in the Telegram. I'm slipping. But this is not going to be super long. It won't be short either. I just want to share a few things that have been running across my mind. And from an empowering conversation I had the other night, just let me know if the sound is pretty much where it's supposed to be. I'm getting text message now. Okay, all right, that's good. That's a good text message. So many of us, okay, the title, they will always hate you because chosen. And not everybody's chosen. So many people in this life want to be chosen and will act accordingly and will force the issue. But the bottom line is, I have to say unapologetically that we're all not chosen. But we're all chosen for something. It may not be the visible thing. You see, when ego gets involved, we start to think of ourselves in a different lane other than what it should be. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, man, thank you so much, Master Glam. We might be a wrench, but we can't do the job of a screwdriver, can we? Right? We might be a hammer and can't do the job of a level. Ego gets involved. We start to think of ourselves as something that we're not. And that's when we fail. And when we fail, we get resentful. When we fail, we start to look sideways. Well, look at him. Who does he think he is? So many people these days, and I will directly blame social media, which, look at me. I'm always on social media, and I'm always blaming social media for certain things. And it's such an ego thing. Let's pick on the teenagers for a while. It's very necessary for us. Sister Oyala, how are you, my dear, beautiful sister? We will have your stuff up too. I've been ripping and running and had a long day today. But because of that insecure, which is healthy, a healthy insecurity, that period that we go through as a teenager, round about in that time, we can bypass that now by becoming something that we're not, as far as image is concerned. You know, we could take out razor bumps, add a few teeth in, slim our face down, do different things, and make ourselves appear perfect, like we're on the cover of a magazine, right? And the reality is we are not that. And we're not saying that you can't be beautiful, because even in your state of imperfection with your insecurities, you are still beautiful as you are. But this world doesn't teach us that, right? You know, yes, let me put this comment up. I forgot I had that ability. I don't know where my mind is. It's done a huge part in ruining many things. This is this juice company that I just love here in Ghana. And look at this. They produce it on the 3rd, and on the 8th, you better drink it. This is truly fresh. Look at that. Okay, it looks a little better there. The 3rd, and you got 5 days. So that's telling you right there. This is not a thing where, oh, it can sit there for another 8 months. It's still got a whole lot of life force in this thing. And I want to say to Sister J, who might be watching right now, on the little walk and talk we did earlier, I kind of got that measurement that you wanted in a visual to go along with it, so you can see. Yes, so let me get into my little flow here. In that insecure period, which is really very important, we get to know ourselves. We get to assess ourselves. We get to go through those feelings of, am I good enough? Do I look good enough? I find that it's necessary. It's a time where we should be trying to build our esteem, going after things, and let rubber hit the road to test yourself. If you want to play the guitar, if you want to play the piano, if you want to go to drama lessons, if you want to go for a trade, if you want to define yourself, who you are in the work world or who you are from within, that's the time to do it. That's the only way to get rid of that insecurity, right? And we all do it to different degrees. But after a while, we realize that we're kind of leaning toward this or that. Some of us never figure it out, or some of us figure it out very late. And many of us, we find out what it is that we're either good at and we like to do. A lot of times, like a lot different than what we want to do, because what we want to do involves either being in front of a camera or being high profile. We dream of fame, and we sit down to the side in the shadows and insecurities as an adolescent. We say, I want to be this one day. I want to be that one day. But no, not good enough. But after a while, when you are chosen, you know that you have something that you're put here on this earth for. And once you realize that you were put here on this earth for something, even if it's still in your peripherals, even if it's still something that you can't clearly see, you have a feeling. But this world often beats that down and they see that flame of motivation coming within you that will separate you from the masses. Because this world, its job, this engineered world, its job is to fan those flames down and out and put you into a cookie cutter type of existence. And some succumb to that. And they say, I probably wouldn't have been this anyway. Let me just go on and get this job and just do this 9 to 5 and just play along the script. You get married, you meet somebody, you get married, you're working, you buy a little house and you have children and you get older and hopefully you get a retirement and live a few years and you die. How exciting is that? That kills the spirit. And it kills the spirit of so many people. It kills the spirit of so many people, the majority of people who smile so quick when you say, how are you? They say, everything's fine. Everything's okay. That's the stock answer that we give. I'm not even saying anybody here, right? And really and truly, if we did have issues going on, those of us who vibrate higher, we're not going to sit here on a bus stop with a stranger that says, oh, hi, how you doing? Well, you know, my wife left me today and I found that I had HIV and I'm diabetic and I got heart problems and I just lost my job. Or they're like, they want to be in their zone of normalcy. So those of us who are vibrating higher and are chosen, and we know it. We know we're here for a reason, even if we don't know it yet, even if we don't know it until we're 50 years old. Some of us are late bloomers. Like I always use the analogy of the popcorn. Every corn in that bag of popcorn is not going to pop at the same time. There's always, you put it in, you're waiting, boom, you hear one. Boom, 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 boom. And when you start to take it out of the microwave, you still get one that may pop. And you're eating and you chew it down on when you say, man, this didn't pop. Majority of us, if you're caught up in this worldly system, not going to pop. Some of you may get it late. And then when you get it early, be ready for the time of your life. You know why? All of those who have accepted normalcy and feel defeated, and I'm not saying it in a condescending way like accepted normalcy and I'm great. Me personally, I know there might be more behind me than ahead of me. I know that. But my best days are ahead of me. If you can live in a way where your best days are ahead of you, right? Even to the time when you know you're going to transition. Because there's going to come a time when we know that we're going to transition unless we go on our sleep but there's going to be a knowing about us. We know that this might be time. It may not even be physical. Maybe when you go to bed and don't wake up, but you know, you're going to know, right? But when you understand this early on in your life, you have more of a time to be attacked by those who see it in you and they will hate you for it. And Mr. SCURV always says, well, you know, hate is too strong of a word. Well, it's in the Bible. It's in the dictionary. Hate is real. And I'm not even talking about, oh, hater, the modern day manifestation of this word. Oh, you're a hater. Because that's thrown around a whole lot, right? But people that hate you, but they smile with you. They hate you and whisper about you to others. They hate that vibration and the fact that you're chosen. They don't know what the hell you're chosen for. They just know there's something special about you. And they want it, and they can't have what was given to you. They haven't discovered what it is in them that makes them great. It could be great, but they don't have to be chosen. Like I always say, not to contradict myself, we all have the seeds of greatness inside of us, but most of us are not going to look within. Most of us are too distracted by the outside world. And we're going to want all these things in the outside world and not want what was put in us in the divine level. Because we have to pull away from that world, the engineered world, to get inside, to be still, to think, to separate yourself. And the more you can separate yourself and still deal with the outside world, pay your bills, or if you have your own business, or you have a job you go to be able to have a dual existence and master that. Not let the engineered world tear you down. To master the engineered world and still have time and a presence, a place to master and cultivate who you are. I remember when I worked in the jail. Oh, I got to get some more of this. Excuse me for a second. There's a whole fridge of them bad boys in there. Oh, God. It's going to be a hard night. Because if I get up to use the restroom, I'm going to make a detour and refill. But yeah, it's hard to pull yourself away to go inside, especially when you're younger and you're not really aware of how to do this thing, because you'll have people that they know you're about to take off into that next level of your life, but they want to hold on to you. And it's not that they just want to hold on to you. They want to hold on to you until they figure out what it is that they have to do. So it's not holding on to you out of love. It's not holding on to you because they want to be around you. It's like, you can't leave me. You can't leave me in this place. I see that you have something inside of you that will bring you higher. But I can't go there because I'm not willing to put in the work. And you're chosen regardless. So you'll be thrust a little more and given a little more and given even more breaks because you were chosen. We all know past, and I'm still alive and I'm still here. And this is not an ego speaking, but you can't apologize for being chosen. You see what I mean? You can't. Let me just turn this down a little bit. Okay, good. And there's a weight that we feel sometimes when we move amongst folks who have given up on going higher, whether they're chosen or not. Because lots of us sometimes, being nice, we want to minimize that shine that we have. See, we want to minimize that bit of extra charisma or influence that we have because we want to insult this person or come off like we're too big. So for all the younger folks out there who, to hell with them, shine. They're going to hate you anyway. You don't have to apologize for your shine. They're always going to hate you anyway because you're chosen, and they're going to know it. And they will befriend you. Some of these people who don't know you, they'll befriend you just to get next to you, to suck the shine from you, to bring you down. They don't know why. And they feel bad in the position that they're in because they know that this is what they're doing. And they will lie to themselves and say, oh, I'm their friend. I care for you. And they will be there for you to see when you're down and secretly sink their fangs into you and suck the depression, the down feeling that you have while acting as your friend because they want to see you down there because that's where they feel more comfortable with you being in that place. But as soon as you start to rise up, it's a whole different energy. I know of someone who, and I'll say it, in my first marriage when I was taking all this emotional abuse, platonic friend, a sister, really a platonic friend. And I call and I say, oh man, this happened today and that happened today. Oh, what else happened there? She said this and she did that and whatever. And she'd stay on the phone with me all night. I'm like, wow, what a friend you are. I'm not saying that if you have somebody close you speak to, that this is what it is, but that's what it was, right? But whenever anything was on a horizon good for me, and I was getting along better within the constraints of that particular union, and it was some good news, she didn't stay on the phone too long. Oh, I got to go. Oh, yeah, I'll talk to you later on. And wait 3 or 4 days before she contacts me, unless she felt that something was going bad. Oh, I heard so-and-so, you okay? What happened? I was their entertainment. I was their sustenance. They wanted to suck the negative energy that was around me and laugh. Because that's what she did. She went to other mutual friends and spoke on and said things and took joy in it. And that's the kind of energy it was. So when they removed themselves from my life, I'll say, well, the garbage took itself out. And this one energy I don't need to deal with. There will be people who will know your trajectory in this life. And whatever they can do to put a stumbling block in your way, they'll do it. And again, they have sold out to the idea that they're not going to become anything. You were put here to become something more than what you are. And I'm not going to sit here. I used to try this, to try to encourage the people who, the more I encouraged them, the more they hated me. Stop with that positive thinking talk. Stop with that motivational talk. That's not reality. You'll see, you'll come into the real world. That engineered world is not the real world. The world I'm in, even though I know what's going on with it, and I know Vladimir Putin and Ukraine and the United States, Taiwan, Pakistan, and India, and North Korea, I know all the stuff that's going on now. But that's the engineered world. What about my world of nature and being in touch with myself and being centered to myself? I'm not going to let that stuff snatch me away. I'm not going to let the things that I see on social media snatch me away. I'm one who creates. Oh, there was a bodybuilding competition this week, and it was a great competition, and I enjoyed it. But I know how to that's because I was into that at one time, right? I love boxing. I love the fights. But anything that I enjoy in this world, and it's not contradicting myself, it doesn't pull me in. I look at it from a distance, let it amuse me, little distraction while I recharge, and I keep on moving on. But we have to understand that a lot of times when we don't get where we're supposed to get is because we're going around with people or allowing certain energies around us that we know can't stand us. They can't stand us. So why the hell you want to be around me? You want to keep your hand on the pulse of what's going on in life. You will even cause little things or try to cause little things. They will come at you, not only direct, but they'll try to come at you through your mate. And you're watching them weave this web to plant seeds to get your mate to come against you for their benefit. I spent a lot of time by myself and at home with Mr. SCURV. And I see these things long over the horizon. Do you have to deal in the next 2 or 3 years with these people, the next 10 years with these people? No. Bust it open, tell it like it is, run them away, let them call you an evil, bad person and run. I don't know why I never did anything to him. So and so, I see what's in your heart. Get out of here, demon. If I see you down here next time, I'm going to throw you over there. I'm not playing. Especially me at this age, I'm very aware. of where my blip is on the radar screen, and I want to do as much as I can. I love what I do. I'm finally in a zone, in a lane, in a place where everything can flow freely. I'll take what they give me, divvy it out. Okay, Bill, I'll pay this bill. I pay that bill. Okay, I'll see you next month. Okay, you giving it to me. I worked all those years. Okay, and I'm not apologizing for that. Boom, 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 boom. It's crazy. See, my internet name, not just on the internet, I'm sorry. My internet, not the desktop that I have over there, but my little module that I carry with me. I changed the name to LANCESCURV.com. So if I go into the mall and I have it in my pocket, I mean, be using it, it's on. I sit at the food court and people are sitting in and they'll check it out because people have contacted me. Man, I was at the Crown Mall and I saw one of the internet names. Man, I checked it out. Man, I love your work. I'm always into little ways of being ingenious with advertising what I do. Oh, and I got to tell you too. What is it? Is it Zell TV or Kel TV? I'll find the link and put it in the description area below. It's a small YouTube channel. They were out by the mall. They had a tripod and everything. And I had my GoPro, and I was walking with Miss SCURV, and I just had it down low. Hit down low. I mean, really down low. Let me show it over here. I'm over here charging up. And so this is. I have another camera that I do the walk and talk with, but this camera that I have, it has of course, this is covered up, right? So I have a handle here that this holds 5 hours worth of charge. So if you charge with the camera itself, that may give you maybe an hour, maybe, I'm not sure. Then you can plug this in to this part and it would give you more. So I didn't want to bring anything else. We were making a really quick run to the supermarket. So we did a walk and talk earlier, but I can't go anywhere without a camera. This takes excellent video, right? So I had it down to my side and it has a stabilization thing to, so it won't be jumpy. If a jump happens, it will just smooth it over more. That's how those cameras work. So I had it low because if you hold it up, people are going to be looking at you, holding their faces up and stuff. They're a little creepy out here with that. So I saw a person, a lady, and a couple of guys with a tripod, and they had a mic. So I figured it was like maybe a TV station or something, whatever. So we kept going. But I said, I know this is probably YouTube, but I'm not intrusive that way. Hey, how you doing? I got a YouTube channel. So we went in, took care of business, and came out and walked around the back by the bank, one of the banks, to go to the ATM and come back to there. And so the young lady who had the mic, she spotted me because I had this camera. So she said, oh, excuse me, can I interview you for a second? I said, sure. You know, I'm not shy. So she says, I want to ask you about Ghana's independence and how do you feel about it? Are you a Ghanaian? I said, yes, by lineage, but not by country of birth. Technically, I'm an American African. She liked that. So I said, first of all, the cameraman was facing me and the sun was behind me. That's bad practice. You always have to keep the sun shining on you, even if it's 3/4 this way or that way. You have to keep the sun shining on you. You have a camera in front of you. Don't cast a shadow. Go to the side. Do a little bit of this, like this or that, right? So he didn't know that. I wasn't trying to upstage your brother, but I said, you know, I think it might be a little better if we have the sun face us. And the people that were there, they were with them, about 3 or 4 brothers there. It's like, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. So we spoke on it. I spoke on it. It's going to be up on their channel. When I get the clip, they already put it up in a couple of days. Me and Mr. SCURV were there and they were asking the question. So I put it down. But she said, there's something about you. I knew that I had to stop you. I said, okay, what was that? Well, first of all, it was the camera, but I said, that's the way it is. It's an energy thing. So energy, confidence, who you are, what you exude. No matter how you try to hide it, if you try to hide it, you can't hide it. You can't hide from yourself. Like that old late 70s Teddy Pendergrass song, you can't hide from yourself. You can't let people who are not loving the fact that you're trying to manifest the best part of you, you should be in no struggle with them. You should step on them. Not in an arrogant way, not in a condescending way, but this is your lane. This is your time. This is your window of opportunity to shine, to do what it is that you're supposed to do on this level. It's a window of opportunity. If you blow it, you're going to have to come back and repeat it all over again and be right back with these same people who have no motivation, who have no foresight, who verbally plagiarize what they hear on YouTube to sound spiritual, to get next to you, to get in your head, to suck you of your resources. It's a game. This ain't a game for me. I'm living this. I was brought a long way, and my journey personally feels even longer than most people who are right up under 60 years old, because of all the people that I don't see around me no more. Yes, I'm in Ghana. I'm in a crowd right now. I'm not in New York City anymore. But many of my brothers and sisters who I came up with, that crack generation took so many of them out. And we don't talk about that no more. It's still around, but when that thing hit, it took so much of my world away from me. So in many cases, although I'm a people person, if your vibration is high, I still feel like a lone wolf sometimes. And this is a very, very lonely walk. But you know you have a job to do and a window of opportunity, even though the job is joyous for you. You enjoy it, you love it. But how many people do I have from back in the day that I can call? I have a few, and I have a lot, but it's a whole lot more that are gone. So I have to represent them. They're gone from now. They can't tell certain stories. They can't share certain perspectives, even if it was a little off from mine, but we overlap. And I see it happening more and more. And now we get to this point of social media and the present generations, even the ones from back then who are escaping, we're so detached. And reality is right here in front of us for us to change, and we don't do it. We just, well, you know, and put it right back down in the phone. We're here to change things. We're here to influence things. Many of us are chosen for certain things and punk out on the task that we have. Worried about the ones who don't like us for being positive, because see, your positivity pulls the covers off of their lazy asses who don't want to do anything, whether they're chosen or they have the seeds of greatness in them, or both. Everybody can't be in front of a camera, and this is part of the design, because YouTube and all social media is going to give you the ability to put a camera in front of you to make you think you're doing something. This is why I'm not trying to profess anything. I just come here with you all and talk and rap and share some stories and some insights and move on to the next stuff that I'm doing. I got a drawing that I have to do with dealing with Dwayne Wade and his son, who's turned it into a daughter. It's going to be very, very, I can't put this on YouTube. I'm going to have to like show a little slice of it and say, if you want to see the rest, go to LanceScurv.com or Patreon. I'm going for the gusto. I can't be nice no more. I can't be politically correct anymore. Even though back then, those older pictures I was doing 15 years ago were kind of rough for that time. Well, times have gotten rough, and it hit me. What are you trying to be polite for? The very reason why they ban you on YouTube, because you say certain things, they can't stop the visuals on the platform. So if I put this stuff up on Patreon, Patreon's not going to say, hey, YouTube, you know what? You need to ban SCURV for like the next week. So to take all this stuff down because he said this and he showed you a visual with that. That's what you're going to have to do. I'm going to put it all there and other places. I'm coming out to chop off heads. I'm coming out to do what it is that I'm supposed to do. And if you hate on me, hate on me. If you don't like it, I don't care. We're going to shine. And this is what I want you to do. I want you all to shine, regardless. And it may not be people out in the street. It could be your next door neighbor watching you, hating on you. It could be somebody you went to school with years ago, that you live in different states now, but they're feeling it now because we can draw closer and see each other over these cameras and over these instant pictures that we could take and crop and Photoshop and do all these things with. There's no time for worrying about them. You can't worry about them. You can't concern yourself. Listen, as a matter of fact, my job is to make you hate more. I'm going to shine so bright, I'm going to make you hate more. You hate it now? What I had the time to do, and even when I didn't have the time to do, I did so much. And I'm just using this. It's not about me. This is anybody. It could even be in your own family. Family's the worst. Look, I'm not a college guy, and I don't get angry at anybody who chooses that path. I have my feelings about that in this world today, and debt, and what is it doing for you? If you can learn something from it to use for yourself and help your community, fine. I'm not against you. Say you choose to go to college, and you're the first one in your family that's going. I've seen people who have mothers that throw off on them because they're going up that road. Throwing mothers who dislike the children, and more so the girl child, the daughter, because they see that she's going to have a different life. But isn't that what you want, to make your child's life better than yours? Not even to say that your life is bad, but just to improve a degree or more. I want to help lift you up. You should, and just like I used the example in the conversation the other day, it's like when you have a program that you purchase and you have choices, A, B, and C. Or you have the free program and then B, C, and D. The free program is A. The free program has two little things in it that for free you can use, like something here in cyberspace. The B program, it will say it has all of the things in A plus these 5 extra things in B. So the list is a little longer. In C, it will say this choice has everything in A and B plus these extras. And D has everything in the prior 3 plus a whole lot more and custom support. That's where you go. What it may be. Well, if you came into the world, mother or father, as an A, don't you want your child to be a B, C, or D? Meaning to have a better life and to have more amenities in your life, not just for hedonistic purposes or pleasure purposes, but to live a more quality life, to really validate the struggles you've been through, to say, you know, I struggled to get you to this country or to get you to this point. I brought you this far. Now you're rising. That should make any parent happy. But you have parents out here who hate on the children for whatever reason, right? And it's not about the mother and the children, the father and the children. I'm just touching on that. Because you might have been chosen for something, and you might have been born into a family that you say to yourself, I don't belong here with these people. That's not my experience, but I always look beyond my experience to be able to see how life really is. I don't really get so caught up in myself because I know my journey, I know my experience, I know my life. I have no problem sharing that. But I look beyond. I've always once looked beyond my own situation, unless there was a dire thing going on, which it never really wasn't, to look into the situations of others and see how they feel and see what maybe I can do to make things better for them if they deserve it in my time, because you have to budget out your time. You have to budget out your energy, because it's another way that haters will come at you. They will always be needy, and they'll always be coming at you. And I don't mean needy just money. I have no problem giving to a righteous person anything I have and sharing to make things better. But these people will put themselves in a place that looks like a bad spot, or put themselves in a bad spot purposely to push you to have to always dig out of your resource because they don't like you. Ain't that sick? Ain't that sick? Or they want to use you and you don't know how they're using you. And to themselves, who's he thinks he is? I'm getting this and I'm getting that from his resources, but I'm getting it through his wife. We told her we'll get it. They're focused on you, but the one thing they can't have is the fact that you're put here for something special, you're chosen, and it's going to work out anyway. The Creator didn't save me from all them sexually transmitted diseases to the point where all them people I've been with, I never caught anything. Condom, what's that? Sometimes. 80s, going into the 90s, reckless. I'm still here. I'm chosen. I was preserved for this. For some reason, it may not even be this. This might be just a warm-up. It might be something 15 years from now when I'm 75 years old. I don't know. I'm riding with it though. When you see certain things in your journey, in your past, and you've been preserved and you're here. So sometimes as a human being, you will feel down sometimes. You will feel drained a little bit. It's okay to rest and recuperate and take your mind off all of the things. I could have told Mr. Scurv, go on to the supermarket yourself. I'm going to stay here and do 3 videos. I'm like, no, I'm going to come with you. I brought my little camera. You know what I mean? Got a little footage walking around, interesting stuff. I put it at the end of one of these shows. That's what it is. But no, you have to know when to back up to. You're a human being. You're destined for greatness. And I don't mean greatness when your name is going to be on a marquee or you're going to be famous. That foolish, shallow stuff. It's not about fame. It's about fulfilling your purpose in a way that after you're out of here, the effects of it will still be felt. Look at the great authors who may have written a book back in the 1600s, 1700s, even to English is a little, or whatever language it may be, a little different then because English and speech evolves. To hear you all reading a book from somebody who wrote it 400 years ago and you're cracking up and you're saying, man, this is profound. And you don't realize that person has been gone from this plane for such a long time, but they took the time to put something of worth into a book that you're going to read later on. To me, that's awesome. Let me peeping through the window. Oh, let me see. Oh, you know, oh, they got a new car. Oh, well, who that man? I saw him 3 o'clock coming out in the morning. Oh, I guess that's that man she's seeing. Oh, what is all of that? What is that going to do? How's it going to help you? You can go back to the one who created you, the system, whether you're going to call it creator or system. We have to account for this. And this, Jesus talk I'm giving you. I'm talking about we have to account for our time here. As long as we get the job done. But if we don't get the job done, why didn't you do it? You had an assignment on your life. You better go back. We got to get this thing done because you got too much talent and ability that I put inside of you for you to waste it. You let them people waste your time. You let them people get in the way of what you're supposed to have in your mind to create and manifest. So you go back and scrap pile with them because they've been going back for the last 7 times. And when you get thrown back and knocked down, it's hard to get back up to that level. You got to prove yourself worthy. Every single day, incrementally, a little bit at a time. Even if you don't do as much, whatever it may be, that you're chosen to do, it's a very serious thing, but it's a good thing because when you're in your zone, there's no better feeling. See, when you're in your zone and you're doing what it is you're supposed to do, you be in a tall building, get ready to get on the elevator and reach out to hit the button, but the door just opens for you and you never miss a step. Synchronization with the universe. It's a beautiful thing. And you turn around and somebody is down on the first floor where you want to go. And they're hitting the button and the first floor button lights up. You don't even have to push the button. See, when you're in your lane of what you've been chosen to do, no matter how many haters around you, it's parting of the Red Sea. And the world opens up for you. Yes, you will have challenges. That's only going to sharpen your blade to cut through this thing called life easier, like a hot knife through butter. But you'll notice the synchronization the more that you're in the zone, doing what it is, and you're human. You can be chosen in this big grand thing, but you got to go to the bathroom. You got to get something to eat. You know, you thought you farted and you started. Whatever it may. Oh man, I got to go home and change my drawers. Whatever. We're human. We're human. So don't let it get to your head on the other side too, and take it for granted. But as long as you're in servitude to your purpose, your way will be made. And don't let people who are the haters because you're chosen worry you. Oh, so what are you going to do about this? Oh, how are you going to solve that? Oh, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. Yes, you would. Yes, you would, because I'm chosen. And I'm using it as a figure of speech because really and truly, we all should feel that way. So many of us have things in our life that we struggle with, and we waltz around this thing like a dance right into the day we get on up out of here. That was not doing us any good. It's never too late. Dust yourself off. And if you just have seeds of greatness, fine. If you're chosen to be a leader or chosen to spearhead a certain path, like when I went to Canada, where I hiked those 11 mountains that were over a mile high when I was 11 years old and 12 years old, Camp Treetops, North Country School. Google that. And look at the people that were there down to the years. And by the world, they might have been famous, rich, or whatever. But you had trails, and you could see other trails that were bushwhacked, meaning that there were plants growing up. There was no trail. There was no dirt that you can see. I can walk this way. And enough people walk through and cut their own path. And it didn't at first look like the ones that were established where nothing was going because people kept walking on it. But after a while, it was officially a trail. So even if you have to go places that no one else has gone in your family, in your school, doesn't mean that you can't go there. Who would have believed that when I was in elementary school, if we can take a time machine and look into the future and say, you know what, I'm going to be living in Africa. You know, if I can go back in time and show my classmates what Africa is all about, and that it's not those stereotypical places where they show the baby with the big belly and the flies on the face and everybody living in mud huts, you know, and I'm not worldly, but I see just as much luxury cars and luxury buildings out here as I did anywhere else. You understand? So let me hear. The screen is so far away. Oh, okay, Miss V and Spirit's Journey. Yes, Lance. Where your peace resides, speaking the truth. Yes, yes. And it's an inner thing. Let's talk on that. It's something that nobody can take away from you when you have it. It's something that will give you that peace and that glow. And other folks who, it could be around you, all types of calamity, all types of chaos. And you may not want to be there, but you're there. I don't know. You could be a teenager who has to depend on your parents, or you're in a relationship and your wife, your husband's on the phone, or they could be cussing you out. And you're like, okay, this is not pleasant. You know what? It's okay because I got it in here. I know what it is I'm supposed to do. And when you're in that place of peace, you extract more joy in the simple things that you do. What do you mean you just want to go for a walk? Don't you want to go to the club? So I'm on fire in my life, not me or not the person in peace, but that person's on fire and they want to go to the club to go dance their problems away, and they want to get around other people, demons hanging on them and jumping off on you, and you come home with more stuff on you. And I'm saying symbolic demons, or demons are real. Negative energy and demons are real. They got you thinking it's just something with horns and coming at you. You can't tell the current of a person's spirit by how they look. I've seen some drop dead gorgeous women. I'm just saying this symbolic in my travels. And some of them were some of the most evil people because they carried a charge inside of them. When you see that wire, you can't tell what charge it is. You don't know if it's negative, positive, or if it's the black wire or the white wire. See, the black wire carries a charge. I don't know how it is out here in Accra, right, or Ghana, but I know back in New York City, when I used to rewire and do little things, I was very handy and artistic One of my talents and abilities are interiors and designing property and traffic flow. We designed the house we're building now, right? But you don't know the charge inside of this person. And so it's almost like when people want to run out because they're on fire, it's like they don't want to sit down and deal with what's inside of them. Or don't want to be in denial of it, just shoot out to everybody and just act out. So now you go into the so-called nightclub, it's like you're on fire and like you take kerosene and pour it on yourself, or gasoline and pour it on yourself. It's liquid. You thought it was going to douse the flames. It makes it even worse. And you're not at peace. If you're not at peace, seek that peace. Seek that balance. Seek that tranquility, because you're not going to be able to execute what it is that you have to do in this life properly if you're all over the place and you got these issues. And we work hard to look to the outside world like everything is okay. Well, I got things in my life right now always attacking me. Me, yeah, to this day. To this day. I gotta step back and look at it. But that's where you got to step back and escape into yourself and into the peace that has been granted to you by the practices that you do. Going to the park and sitting down still. Getting up sometime in the middle of the night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, meditate and go back to bed if you can, right? Just get out the house and take a nice long walk. Where you going? I don't know. You're just walking until the voice tells you to turn around and come back. Like I said, when you have those things and you can escape into yourself, you can conquer anything. And you don't have to react. You don't have to react in a way that you end up in jail, or you end up, oh, let me just drink more liquor. I never tried crack before. Maybe it ain't going to get me addicted. Let me try this thing. No, don't react. You always act. Because when you react, the original thing that tried to get you to react, if you react, it controls you. It controlled you. So if somebody causes or does an action to you that's not favorable, think about how you're going to act, not react. Somebody smack you on the face. You got to think, why did they do that and what reaction do they want out of me? This person knows I can beat them down to the ground. That's probably what they want. They want me to beat them down to the ground so I can get arrested and they can have their way in my life from where I am because I'm knocked down. So you act and you choose your actions. And you don't think in the world, oh, they're going to think you're a punk. You're going to let them do that to you. Oh, man, he punked you out. No, he punked me out and controlled me if I react. And if it looks like it's a reaction, I don't have to convince you that that is my action. I might very well knock the taste out of this person's mouth. Maybe it's a long time coming. It's not a reaction. So me, with things that happen to me, act. Sometimes to do nothing is an act. Sometimes, a video I did on the rooftop says sometimes it's best to do nothing to your enemy who has done something to you. Let their karmic debt add up. It must be paid. The way I think now, I say I'm not going to relieve them of having lots of karmic debt that has to be paid. Because if I do something to them, then that they gets checked off. Don't let it pile up. Past a certain point, I'm not going to let anybody put their hands on my wife or kids, anybody around me that I care for, right? But let the karmic debt add up. They're going to have to they do you wrong. If they do you wrong, they're doing themselves wrong. I mean, now, if you straighten them out, you call them out on something they're doing, you can do that. You don't have to tolerate people's foolishness now. But if it's something minor, you got to think about it. There's some people that I've known in the past, and they will always got something smart to say or always something to say to me, some low-key slight. And I sat there and I thought about it. And I said, I can see why this person doesn't dig me. I can see why they always have to come at me and they're agitated at my presence. I said, this joke is so far in debt. with no way out. And some of us are no way out. That's why he dislikes me. I'm not saying I'm some rich man, but it's not about what you make, it's about what you don't spend. And I don't have too many debts. Light stuff, the normal stuff. Some of the place in life when I can relax. And what is this person going to do? You know what I mean? They think about the next 2 years, 3 years. What am I going to do with my kids? What am I going to do here? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do? I got some debt. Oh my God, look at Lance. He's chilling because I made a conscious decision to act in my life and not let my finances get out of control. There's a couple of decades I learned they got out of control. They did. And there was no reason for it. And I was getting good money, getting multiple incomes back in the early, middle 90s, whatever. And I still let it get out of control because I didn't understand certain things. And once I passed that period, I'm like, I know what I'm not going to do. So even if I don't have $1 million, I know I can keep that balance. And that's another way they come and attack you too, through your finances, to throw you off. You're chosen. You're doing what you have to do, but maybe you don't know all you need to do to have the discipline that you need to have. Because we can look at tutorials all day and this get rich stuff and do this and pay off your debts and those schemes, and we'll erase this off your credit overnight. All that stuff, whatever I'm saying, good sound practices and balance in your life will take you where you need to be. There's got to come a point in your life where what you have to do and want to do, and I'm not talking about worldly wants, but what you want for yourself in life as far as a personal status of peace and where you stand now. Those are 2 points that have to converge. And for some people who box themselves off with dumbass decisions, they can't see that point coming. And I've been in certain situations in life that I didn't see it coming. I'm like, I jumped over from one lane to the next. You're in a three-lane highway, and this one's not moving. So you see the other one moving. Sometimes it's not always good to jump, but you jump over, you're much further because you made the decision to cause that shift that you could have sat there still eating the McDonald's French fries. You know what I mean? Oh, I'll get there when I want, but this thing's good. No, go where you have to go. And don't be afraid to venture into these uncharted places because of fear of the unknown. I wouldn't be here in Africa if I had that fear. I'm not saying that I'm anybody better, because people who are here who still have the fear from where they came from, they're here and they don't know what they're going to do because they ran from something. I ain't from nothing. I can go back and come back. I can travel the globe freely. I ain't worried about no digital anything and no fingerprints and no records and my name being run. Don't worry about that. Because I made sure to live a certain way. Discipline. Because if you lack the discipline in this life, you're going to pay for it. Or you're going to live a very constricted life. Restricted, constricted. You won't be able to move the way you want to move. All the wild days can't help you now. Now you're boxed in and mad at me. There's several who are very much for no reason except for that. They come on, and this is my thing. I like to talk a little bit before I go to rest. I like to do my little stuff that I can put up and enjoy and share. That's what I like to do. I don't have to do this. I love doing this. It evolved into this. Why can't we live a life where we can get to a certain point where we can embrace, because like they say, once a man, twice a child, and that goes for women too. Once a woman, twice a child. I don't mind moving into that child phase, and I don't mean child like I'm sitting here with a rattler on a high chair in a bib, you know what I mean? It ain't gonna happen like that. You ever see the illustration where a man is crawling on all fours, then he's walking on two legs, and he's walking with a cane? Not all of us are going to walk with a cane, right? But the bottom line is that we're evolving. We should have now the great wisdom from traveling through this world, from experiences that some we had to learn from getting up in our ass, things that took 10, 15, 20 years to recuperate from. relationships that were dysfunctional that we stayed in a little bit too long, and it gave us these emotional scars that eventually they were healed up if we embrace healing. But I have no problem embracing that point in my life. And I'm quite surprised pleasantly that I can't, it's hard to, not to say I can't, I'm going to say it like anybody else. I can't believe how cool I am embracing this age group. I'm like, wow, this is nice. And I'm not old. Yes, I'm old. If you ask a 15, man, you old. You 60 years old in April. You old. Yeah, I know old that way to you because it's relative. When I look over the horizon and see the mountains that have been there for thousands and thousands and millions of years possibly. And that tree that's so thick that I know when I was born, it looked the damn same way. 59 years and 11 months ago. So how can I be old and these things that are part of creation like me? That's old. And even still, it's not. So it's all relative. So don't get caught up in what society puts on you. Oh, you're hitting 50. It's all over now. It'll be done a different way, a different form. Can you not laugh now that you're older over what you were 10, 20, 30 years ago? You might be 30 years ago and say, I can't remember when I was born. Okay. Whatever your earlier years were, isn't a laugh just as satisfying when you call a friend and you talk about a memory, you have a good belly laugh, or you watch a video and it reminds you of something because of the song that was playing, who you were around, and you laugh hard? Does the laughter diminish because you're older? Does the love diminish because you're older? It may, if you're not living right and your spiritual filters are clogged. That's why on all levels, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, we got to meditate. It doesn't mean you have to put your fingers up and do it this way and nam myoho renge kyo. It don't mean all of that. You don't even have to eat McDonald's. You may just want to sit down at McDonald's and look out the window. I'm going to go in here and sit down sir, are you buying something? Let me just get a little coffee. And you buy it and give it to somebody else. And just chill. Go somewhere different and be still and see how good that is. The shopping mall where all these busy people are, go sit in the corner of a nice little eatery, purchase something small you want, sit down in the corner and really focus on and watch the people walking by. Read them, learn from them. You can see who's disgruntled. You can see who's walking 10 feet in front of their mate and they pissed. You can see the happy babies that are there because they have a loving home. Even they may not have as much toys as a kid that's rich and miserable. You see what I mean? Just observe what's around you and be thankful for what you have from within. Because like they say, you're not going to take none of this with you. I don't know where this table is going to end up. You know what I mean? This is a nice table. It's got the controls here. You can hit the button and it goes up or comes down. Watch. I'm going to sit in one perfectly. Watch. Hit the button, and it goes down. I ain't do nothing. I didn't even move. I'm gonna hit the button. It's going. I love this table. Okay, let me not bump my head now. Let me put it up a little more. Only thing when there's a power outage, wherever it is stuck. So if I have it at real high, I'm like, gotta look up and whatever. I don't lust after these things. This is what I need to keep me going. This is what I do. I'm not gonna do what I do, or the things that I use to make things easier for myself with these different contraptions in front of me, and then go try to outdo somebody else. If it's in my purpose, I'm down for it. If it can help me do more, I'm down for it. I have all types of apps and gadgets in my craft, and yet it's still a hobby. It helps somebody if there's a word shared here. It doesn't have to be because of me. There's a lot of wisdom in this chat room. A lot of it. Even if it's a show where I'm there and people are talking and I'm enjoying it, I'm just chilling. And Masterclass, I think, laughed the other day when I said there have been shows that go by an hour or two, might be a 5-hour show, and I ain't say nothing for 2 hours. Lance, are you still there? Like, I'm right here, I'm chilling. I'm enjoying the conversation. I know my role. Let the energy flow. I don't have to be the one bringing it all the time. And when you're chosen, you have to understand that. You don't have to be always the one. I do this for an hour change every night. But this is talk, but Sister Oyala, Master Glam, everybody who comes through here, Mr. Political, whatever, send me something or we'll come on live and I'll chill. Speak your mind. Let it flow. It's not about just my energy. So even when you're chosen, you have to know when to sit down and shut up. I don't mean chosen from some condescending way. No, I'm going to use the humble word because that's a vibration that I used to use that word a lot. It's almost like you're castrating yourself. When you're chosen for a task or some role in this world, you're going to have fire because of the people that don't like you because you are chosen. And at the risk of being called cocky or he's narcissistic, no, I'm not. I'm down to earth. I'm not going to let you walk over me. And people say, well, you should be more humble. Why? Let them walk over me? No, I have a divine mission, even if I don't know the whole mission. It's been to you in part sometime. Well, you're going to have this first part for the next 2 years. And when the next 2 years is finished, we got the rest for you on a spiritual level. That's might be what it is. The easiest way to follow and deal with what's in your path. What's in your lane? Number one, you always have to deal with what's in your lane. Before you start looking over to somebody else's lane and you driving in the car looking sideways, wrap yourself around a pole, you got to know what's in your lane and deal with what's in your lane. It's the easiest way. And stick with that until you elevate and can see across the land even more. Like when you go up in the plane and you see how small your situation is, you might see your house or your neighborhood or your Walmart, and you look at that, the Walmart's getting small. Look at that. Man, they're so tiny. And you realize how small your issues are, how big the world is, and how you need to release these things. Sometimes when there are people that we love or people that we don't like, whoever it may be in our life, you're sitting here talking to them just as, whatever. You go home, you're there for 2 hours. Hello? Did you hear about Mabel? What Mabel? I was with her two hours ago. She tripped and fell on the front steps and busted her head and she's gone now. What? I was just with her. She gave me some plates of food to take home and they were hot and they're still warm. So that makes you realize that you can really appreciate every single minute of every single day. I've seen it. When I was 5 years old, I was with my father by a shop. We lived 2 blocks down when we lived in Manhattan on 152nd Street between St. Nicholas and Amsterdam, right where Convent Avenue begins. I'm name dropping because these are really historic neighborhoods in Manhattan. And his shop was not by Amsterdam, but by Broadway, just 2-3 doors below 152nd Street. And then when we moved to Queens, he still held on to the shop because most of his work was still in Manhattan. So he would take me along, like he would go pick a check or just go by the shop to pick up a machine and get it serviced or something, because he refinished floors and custom landmark properties. So we would buy the shop, and I was 5 years old, 6 years old, but I'm standing right in front of the door. And there was a little eatery next door to that shop. And it was really undercover, a numbers joint, right? And so I know how far to walk or whatever. And all of the people that were all up in the shop owners, they knew me. And like, I know when I was like 7, 8 years old, I used to go out there and shadow box. I just knew I was going to be the next Muhammad Ali. I'd take off my shirt and I'd be out there. And I'm talking not too much, just like, hey. I'm trying to knock somebody's head off shadow box. I'm trying to show skills. I look out the corner of my eye, people were coming. I was fighting hard. I wanted to look and be more impressive. So I'm standing out there. And the guy that ran the numbers joint, he wasn't always there. I'll never forget him. His name was Johnny. And he looked at the boxing promoter, Murad Muhammad. If you want to know what Johnny looks like, you just Google Murad, M-U-R-A-D, Muhammad, and put boxing promoter. You should pull up. He always wore these glasses just like Johnny did. But Murad Muhammad looked what Johnny would look like, 20 years or whatever. Because I'd say maybe he was like in his late 20s, maybe 30. A round face, the glasses, the sideburns. I always want to get the sideburns. That body with a picture. I get the big sideburns. Let me see if you can see the sideburns, right? Everybody else looking at everything else. Nobody saw the sideburns. Here go the sideburns, y'all. Look at the sideburns touching that side of my mouth. I had my afro hair on my cheeks than I did. That was 1982, September 25th, right? But anyway, I had sideburns coming down. Big, look like Florida, probably just as big as Florida. Combing them, a man now. Oh boy, that was those days. But back in those days, you just didn't give a kid money. My father didn't deal that way. You had to ask if it was all right. He would say. And I couldn't take money from a stranger, or, if you're home and it's your uncle and they're visiting, yeah. But he was cool with my father, real cool. But here he is, the big time numbers when they had guns on him. I didn't see no guns. But he's like, he looked at my father and he put some money out. He said, can I? He said, yeah, go ahead, man, go ahead. And I took it directly from him. I said, thank you, all of that. And so I wanted to go down three doors down to the other store to get an Italian icy. Them old Italian ices where it was round and they gave you this little spoon that was like they had a little, shape to it, at the infinity sign, but it was like, and you eat that thing and the ice on the bottom was so sweet. You eat that thing and you're like, oh man, it's real red, because I love the cherry flavor all the time, right? So anyway, I'm sitting there scheming, and I had just put the money in my pocket, and Johnny is probably 8 feet away from me. He's just standing there. Just, they were playing music, and he's looking around. And all of a sudden, either it was a Cadillac, two of them, I think it was two Lincoln Town cars, right? And they were flatter. It was more like, it was real low, and when you open the door of a Lincoln Town car back, the whole street was blocked. So two of them pulled up. One pulled up, and it was double parking, and the other one pulled up next to it, blocking that one extra lane. And I remember it was hot. And these guys, they had hats on just like a movie, and these big coats, and they whipped out. Boom! And the thing it wasn't real to me. And they weren't trying to spray up a place, because I'd be dead. He was 8 feet over. I mean, it could have happened with ricocheting bullets, right? So my father reached and snatched me, because he knew I was paralyzed with fear or just shock. But I saw that man. And just moments earlier, he had given me $5, which was $1 million, to somebody that age at that time, in the early 70s, or maybe 69, 7 years old, 6 years old, right around, because my father was always with me. My parents never divorced or anything like that. But my mother's not going to come. I'm going to come to Manhattan. Will you go to the shop? No, she'll stay home and do some other things. I want to go with Daddy. And I just learned these lessons from some of the things that I saw. And it made me have an appreciation for people, how unique they are, their energy, no matter who they are. Even when they're evil, I can pick up on it and take away the evil thing and try to see something good. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes some of these evil people hate on you because you're chosen. They'd be nice people to know if they got their act together and got over their own insecurities. I can encourage you and motivate you, and you can encourage other people and motivate them. You're not put here to babysit anybody's insecurities. You got to work on that. When I used to go to the gym back in the days when I was competing as a bodybuilder, I know that I can have somebody spot me, that if I had that weight and couldn't get it up, that they would either help me rack it back on the rack or get over that sticking point. But I'm not going to sit here and pick up weight that was too heavy for me and have them doing it for me, just the ego effect of saying, oh, I had 90-pound dumbbells doing some presses, some dumbbell presses. No. I know that with my physique at the time, I had to earn every bit of muscle that I had. That was for me to do. And it's the same thing for you to do and anybody else. When you want to ascend to a certain level, you have to go through that exploration from within. You got to walk through that, and you can't have fear on what you'll find, because it's worse if you don't explore yourself and let what's in you manifest and grow. Because there's going to be some bad things in there, because you're not going to walk through this world and just everything be pristine. You're going to catch your emotional scars. You're going to go through relationships that hurt you and scar you. You're going to deal with racism that's going to deal with you in a way where you don't know how you're going to react. You're going to deal sometime with not having money and poverty. You're going to deal with being made fun of when you know you have greatness inside of you. But you persevere anyway. And some of us get broken and don't do it. You know what happens? You never forget it. You want to live your whole life forgetting that thing that you should have done at that time that you never did. Sometimes you have a second, third, fourth, fifth chance. Sometimes you don't have another chance at all. Don't sit there and hate on the next person because they're chosen for something. Help them. Applaud them. Encourage them. Because if they're chosen for something great, it's going to benefit you. To be chosen is not easy. It's not easy, the discipline that you have to put in whatever craft you do, or whatever you pursue, or whatever you have to discipline yourself to not do when everybody else is partying or going in groups, doing this and doing that. And you have to focus on what it is. You love it, but it's still a sacrifice. Like today, I was at the mall. And as you well know, soon we'll be moving into the house, but we're living in an apartment right now while the little things are finished. And I want to take my time. I'm not in a rush, right? So I got this table here. We have most of the furniture stock, stored away in my studio up there. But we saw the most adorable wooden table in the mall in one of these shops. So I'm going over. I said, we got big dining room tables and big tables, up at the house, but we don't have as much space here. So we both looked at it. I said, man, that would be perfect over there by the kitchen. And I also said, I'm looking for a table to draw on. And I said, well, don't you have this big table in front of you? I had to tell her. I said, I spend many hours here. And it's a different mindset. Just to get up and go across the other room and get my laptop and draw and look at things and draw, that would motivate me more, because I spend a lot of time here. Sometimes I'm 16 hours, 18 hours a day. I get up, take a break. I'll walk outside for a second. But to be here to live stream, edit, graphs, take phone calls, look at emails, you're in one spot. And so when you finish with this, you're like, I'm still inside. Sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll get up and take a walk just to get away. But I was like, I want that table. I'm going to get that table probably next week, 2 weeks, whatever have you. And I tried to rock it a little bit, because some, tables these days, the quality is like bad, so it was solid. I said, okay, let me lean on it. And the legs were all solid with heavy base, pretty nice little simple thing. The simple things, right? But not to get off topic, but even in that, you have to ask yourself, do I really need this? And I do, and we do. Because we're so distracted. All I ask everybody, we'll wrap it up soon, is go within and get into yourself. I don't mean something selfish, that you can't do anything for somebody. I'm just saying, get to know yourself. Because we have all of these facades that we get into, whether it's a social media profile picture and we start believing it and taking pictures a certain way to make ourselves, and you go meet the person that has all these great pictures up, you're like, you're their sister, right? You look like that person. Can't you? We put too much weight on that. Just take some time, even if it's only 5 or just 10 minutes. You can find 10 minutes in a day to go within yourself and to be still and talk to yourself. If you have fear, which is not good, but if you have it, talk to yourself, get it out of you over time. If you're anxious about something, try to pull back on why you're anxious. We have a lot of time. Even those of us who have shorter lives, we still have a lot of time. How many roads have we gone up in this world and in this lifetime that we look back and it was like a waste of time? It's not appealing to who you are now as a person. But that thing back when you were in your 20s was so important. Man, I got to get this car, man. Oh my God, I need this car. I need $3,000. Man, you got a $500 you can loan me? I'll give it back. I got to get this car. Now, 20 years later, you drive by and you see that same car, maybe not the same exact one, but the same make and model, sitting in somebody's yard, rusty, no tires on it. And you're like, look at this thing. I fiend for that vehicle. Look at it now. It's not even important to me. Even me now, I don't even have a car. Transportation is cheap. Why? I'll get one soon, but certain things are not important to me anymore. You know what I mean? And so when you're chosen, that makes it easier. Even when you're pursuing the seeds of greatness that are inside of you, when you're not caught up in this superficial thing, you can perform better. You're in touch with yourself. And when you're a creative person, those things flow so easy and beautifully, and you enjoy it. When I draw a picture, I'm not rushing. I may want to have it done around a certain time, but I don't care about that in reality. I'm stroking the joy of making it come out. When before you saw a blank piece of paper, but now you see something that's so detailed, you got to grab it and look what he put here. Oh, look at the lines in the sneakers, and he put a word in there hidden, and he shaded this way. That's what I like to put, that kind of energy. It brings me joy, and I play my old music from back in the 70s and the 80s. Be something today I like the beat of, and I lose myself, and I'm in heaven. And there are people out there who will hate on you while you do what you do, and it's like they're wasting their time because you're gone pursuing and validating that day, that this one day is never going to come back. Do something for yourself and your legacy and your mission. Don't punk out, because there'll come a day where you'll regret it and you'll realize how great you are. We're all great. We all have a purpose. Like I say, every tool in the box has a purpose. Some of us are chosen for greater things. So don't hate on anybody who does that. We all have a chance to elevate ourselves. Are you better today in some aspect of your life than you were yesterday, incrementally, even if it's something tiny? You don't have to read a whole book a day, but maybe read 2 pages of it. Leave it by the toilet. You know what I mean? If that's the only place where you can sit and read, well, act like you're constipated. You still in there coming out? I don't know. I ate all that cheese. Who knows? But it's a beautiful thing to fellowship with yourself. And you got to understand that there'll never be a time in this earth the way it is, because negative balances out the positive. If you have so much negativity coming at you, that means you super positive. Negativity is not going to waste its time on some mediocre, nondescript person. And it's a psychic thing also. You can feel the psychic energy coming to you. So I use that to motivate me, because I'm tapped into that. If it's negative, I use it and turn it into positive. If it's positive, I don't have to do nothing to it, and I keep on rolling. Lance, how do you do so much? I feel the energy coming. I'm already motivated, but I'll take the energy. If you give me some Japanese yen, their currency, right? And you give me the amount of what would be $1,000, I'm not going to say, we don't use that money. I'm going to go to the Forex place where they can turn it over into the currency I use. Convert that energy. Convert the hate that they give you. The little remarks and talking behind your back and wanting to get in your pockets without you knowing it. Turn that in your behalf. You'll feel it. You'll feel it. If you don't know how to convert negative energy, you will feel it and you'll weigh it down. If you do, okay, Let's give them something to talk about. Let's give them this today. Because I'm doing a damn thing on what I do. Are you? I'm not saying anybody who's watching the show. I'm saying to those other ones out there, don't worry about that. Keep shining. Keep shining. Shine. I don't care what you're doing. Hoodoo, voodoo, whatever. All that burns in my powerful shine. Because I'm where I'm supposed to be, and it's ordained by creation. So you can have animal sacrifices. I've had a couple of animal sacrifices done against me. Little things, little hocus pocus things and whatever. I'm still here. Maybe I'm crazy. Did it work? No. You wasted your money. You wasted your time. Because I'm chosen. I'm meant to go over that. Because my divine mission on this planet is bigger than your petty little hate and jealousy that's coming out of your insecurities. I never try to be you, but you can never be me. And I'm saying that to the ones who are not too positive, if you know what I mean. You'll never stop me from being me, and I love the way I was created. I'm not narcissistic, but I love how I was made because I was made for the task. You don't take a screwdriver and try to do a hammer's job. You see what I mean? All the experiences I've had in life is for a reason, so I can share them. I'm gonna do little skits, skits too, but I'm gonna do little monologues where I'm just going through New York City in 1969 or 1974. I'm gonna tell you what it's like when I see down to the detail. Abstract things I've seen, and it comes out of my system because I've always been a recorder of energy and events and things around me. A song came on earlier today on YouTube. You know how the playlist will keep playing? And I was transfixed. I was like, whoa. I had to text my friend Kevin and let him know, man, remember the song? What was it? Risky Changes by a group called Bionic Boogie. And it was a long version. It is a nice song. And that reminded me, and I'm getting out of here. I'm talking trivial stuff that probably y'all want to hear. It reminded me when I was reading this boxing magazine, and it was 1977 in the summertime. And when Muhammad Ali was getting ready to fight Ken Norton in Yankee Stadium in New York in the fall. And that song was playing, and Ken was saying how serious he's training and stuff. So that always reminds me of him. That's how my weird mind works. It holds on to things sometimes abstract. It's always on point. You know what I mean? So that's one of my gifts. So this is how I can run my mouth so much. You just tell me a subject, I can be here for 6 hours. That's what I'm chosen for, right? And I'm never jealous of anybody's gifts. I enjoy them and I love them, and I feel good that I'm blessed to receive them and experience them. The artistry of who another person is and their energy. Who else can be a Mr. Political? That's a funny guy. I'm not saying he's funny like derogatory, but he's funny. Yeah, he walks into a room, you know he's gonna cut something. Right? Who can cut more than Sister Oyala when she talks about a point and she sees something? Or Sister Sasha. I was on the phone with her the other day. We're supposed to do another show coming up, right? It's amazing. Sister Biko and this one, everybody brings their energy. Let's power hour on that. The same way black folks who are broke said, man, I got some chicken, you got some potatoes, I got a yard for vegetables, I can make some lemonade. Let's come together and make a wonderful meal, right? That's what it's all about. Anyway, I'm going to leave right now. I'll be back tomorrow. What was the topic tomorrow? It's on the channel. Just go to the live section about dysfunctional unions or dysfunctional marriages or some whatever. I'm gonna go deep on that. Oh, dysfunctional bloodlines. It's a longer title than that, but that's basically what it is. So let's get ready to rumble. It's been good. I think the ban is off in 3 days, so it's gonna be maybe Wednesday. I said Tuesday, but it's probably gonna be Wednesday. And they'll be nitpicking. They'll be looking to do things, say things or whatever. So I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing. Anyway, much love to you all. Take care. Salute to my brothers. Much love. Mwah. Special kiss for my sisters. And I'm going to be out of here. I'm going to probably get one of those juices a little more. And there's a slice of this gluten-free bread with raisins in it that I want. I'm just going to take a small little slice, right? Just a tiny, tiny, tiny little slice. I will see you all tomorrow. And shoot me a message, Lance at LanceScurv.com, or text me at 407-590-0755. WhatsApp or straight through can do it. Much love.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. You got me feeling some type of way. You make me wanna stay in all day. You're the reason I can't get out my head. I just can't stop thinking about you. 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 I just can't stop thinking about you.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you.